Hi. How are you? The beginning of these are always so awkward. I don't know how my wife pulls it off. She's right there, by the way, in case you see me looking over at somebody. But, dude, so to anybody that watched the first episode and reached out and said I did good or like gave me advice or oh my god, dude, it was so overwhelming. Thank you so very much, man. I've been saying this since I met my wife that like the fiber arts community has got to be one of the biggest collection of cool ass people, like as far as like helpful, supportive, encouraging, like y'all are pretty kick ass, man. It was kind of overwhelming, but we pulled it off, right? So this episode, I have Miss Chevirell, grab your drink, reached out to me and she sent me a page of a lady that's like dead ass, like professional, does this for a living, and she makes these videos on her Instagram, and why can't I remember the name? Shirsty Cat. Oh my goodness, if you haven't checked out her Instagram, check out her Instagram. It's better than the time that I ate magic mushrooms and went to the aquarium and looked at the eels all day. It's so hypnotizing just watching her do her thing. It's that might have been an overshare. It's the 90s were fun, what can I say? But I am going to attempt to do what she does. I mean, my interpretation of what she does. I don't know how, like, I'm guessing. I've only got her videos to go off of, so I don't know times, I don't know dye solutions, I don't know acid contents or anything. So I've got to take the 1 week worth of knowledge that I have in my head, and if you want to call that knowledge, the 1 week of YouTube video watching and Googling that I have up there. I started to prepare notes, and then literally my notes are didn't write any notes, got distracted by pretty colors, and then a bunch of ideas as far as like color combinations that I want to do. But I had all intentions of writing notes, but I got distracted by the pretty colors, and that didn't happen. But today, my wife told me about this place called the Restaurant Store, which is like all restaurant supply stuff, and that's where she got the majority of my dye making stuff. And she's like, "Oh, you should check it out. You should check it out. You should check it out." So about $100 later.
No, you only spent like $78.
Yeah, but then I got the stuff at Walmart too.
Okay, so
I needed one of these bad boys. I got this. It's made out of glass. I had a plastic one and a glass one, and I was like, and then I was like, wait a minute, the plastic one might get like colored from the dyes that I make in it, and then I won't be able to see the measurements. But this one, remember last episode, that whole milliliter thing? Measures in milliliters. So guess what? I only have to be as smart as the container. But then, I bought me a whisk. I bought me a sifter for speckling so that I don't try the spoon and then go, oh no. But literally every legit person that I've seen speckle doesn't use anything but their fingers. It's like rolling. Yeah. So, but I bought this. It's mine now. I got some funnels. I got 3 of them to be exact. And remember the whole dye bottle dilemma? I don't know if you guys noticed it because my wife did the little fasty forwardy thing. But the squeezy bottles that we made the dye in last week, one of them worked perfect. 2 of them 100% did not. As soon as I tilted it, they leaked all over the place. So if I'm going for... It turned out to be pretty cool, but if I'm going for something like I want specific amounts of dye in these specific places, that ain't gonna work. So I don't know if I did anything better by doing this, but I got a different style of bottle. It's also got the measurements on the side in milliliters too, and ounces. I haven't heard anybody say anything about ounces. Have I? But these have little squeezy tops that very well could leak. But, yeah, I got 3 of these. And then we were talking about how, like, making, like, pre-made dye solutions to where I could just do the mask one time, get all the powder out of the way, and then make a bunch of dyes, and then I don't have to worry about all the safety first. And my suggestion on the way to the restaurant store was to just order a bunch of wonton soup from the Chinese restaurant, and then just use the containers that they, because you know the container for the wonton soup's like that big, and then as a bonus, we'll get to eat a bunch of wonton soup. So that seemed like a win-win. But at this restaurant store, you could just buy the containers. You don't get any wonton soup, though. Now I kind of want some wonton soup. And we got the lids. So it's kind of like that whole...
Hot dog in the buns.
It's kind of like the whole hot dog in the buns thing, because you don't get the same amount of lids as you do containers. Why do people do that? Like... Anywho, we could play Frisbee or something with the leftover containers. And I got this thingy to rinse out my dye my dyed skeins, and it's something bigger to where I can soak my hanks. So, and I got a lid for it. I don't think I needed a lid for it, but it also works to hold all these wonderful products as well. So I am going to go outside. I am going to pre-do a couple of things of dye. I don't think you don't want to come. Do you want to come for that? You don't want to come for that. It's just going to be a fast-forwardy, like... You get what's happening. There's going to be colors and waters going together. And then I'll bring you out for the good stuff, so... See ya. My kid got a toy for Christmas. A Magic 8-Ball. Since this is kind of unknown... Am I going to be able to pull this off, Magic 8-Ball? Yes. Oh boy. Luck,
Hope floats.
Hope floats. Hope floats. Drew Barrymore.
I think it's Drew Barrymore.
No, it's not Drew Barrymore. Who's in Hope Floats? Ryan Reynolds.
Probably. He's in everything.
Hope. Who's? Is that a movie? That's a movie. It's Drew Barrymore.
Sandra Bullock. No.
Let's just name everybody that's in a rom-com.
Okay.
Kirsten Dunst. Look who came to join us. I don't know if you guys have ever met my oldest daughter.
Nope.
But this is my oldest daughter, and this is my other daughter. So, good at making daughters.
Hazel TV.
Hazel TV.
Hazel TV.
That's not what my videos are called.
Yeah, she does her YouTube videos, and it's called Hazel TV. So I just got done making all my dye stocks. I had a problem with some yellow. I had so many problems. I got through 4 dye stocks before I realized I was using the tablespoon and not the teaspoon. So I have some fixing to do. because I currently have 4 of them that are a tablespoon and a half of dye to 24 ounces of water versus a teaspoon and a half. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of some colors once I get this diluted to the right amount. But my oldest daughter here, Michaela, she is socially awkward. So tell them everything about your life. I bet you I can make her cry very fast.
Yeah. I've probably cried 3 times already today. So.
Don't do that.
I was crying at the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, dude, that's totally normal. I do that
It is.
all
I
the
cry
time.
every single episode.
What season are you on?
3.
3?
Well, yes,
I
because
don't know if I've seen 3.
I skipped. No, I'm on 4 because we skipped season number 2 because I thought it was boring. But the first one's my favorite. The third one is okay.
I don't know
But
which one I'm on.
this one has like.
Oh, I'm on 1
really?
right now.
Oh,
You're watching
I love
Chetna
it.
right now.
Oh,
watching
Chetna is the best. I love
Yeah.
Chetna and Martha. Martha's great. I like her.
I liked the Scottish guy that completely got boned because the lady took his ice cream
I
out of the
know.
freezer. And then next thing you know,
No.
she...
Yeah.
Ian, yeah.
The next episode,
Yeah.
she was, she didn't come back no more. She
Good.
Was
I
sick.
was. Oh, the old lady.
Yeah.
What's the one with like the curly blonde hair? I didn't like her.
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I like the youngest
Good.
one on there, the girl.
Martha, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's cool.
So this
She,
is the Great British Bake Off podcast.
Yeah. Hazel TV.
Hazel TV.
Featuring Great British Bake Off.
So my kid is an amazing painter.
Yes, she is. I like
Do you want to
it.
see what she made me for Christmas?
Nope. I
Mommy
don't.
said when we took all our paintings off, she didn't see a nail, so she found it in the wall, so she hanged the painting.
We have a place to hang it up, but this
Oh,
is what
mine?
my
Oh gosh.
oldest daughter made me for a chim chim. It's pretty awesome. What are those things called on there, Hazel?
Swiggle Saggle.
Siggle swaggles. That's a
You can
technical
find
term.
stuff. You can
Swag.
find stuff.
Yeah.
Daddy thought he found the toe, and he didn't
A toe.
find the toe.
It looks like a leg.
Oh, that one?
And a foot.
That's funny. There was a lady, but I think I got rid of her accidentally.
Alright, so I've got to figure
There
out
was
how
some white
to
spots since it was cold and it freezed up the paint.
I told you
She
that.
said.
No.
dilute
I don't remember.
4
Daddy.
dyes,
And it hurt.
and then we'll be back. So, yeah.
Too much blue. It was looking cool. I mean, it's not that it doesn't look cool.
Maybe once it dries.
It won't be as dark.
And the brown looks black. I don't
It's
know,
purple.
man. I'm not giving up on this.
Brown looks purple.
I'm not giving up on this. I think it's gonna be cool.
Alright. Okay, so let's recap the videos that people saw before anything else.
Okay.
So, the first color was the teddy bear brown.
Teddy bear brown.
And it was a 1% mixture.
1% mixture.
24 ounces.
24 ounces.
And then topped off to 32 with water to thin it out a little.
Yes.
Okay, that went on. You saw that video.
Yeah, and I did like a little bit. And then I was like, ooh, I waited the 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Stuff.
Same thing with the fuchsia color, right?
Flamingo pink.
Oh, flamingo pink. Okay, so
Yes.
same cocktail.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I put a little bit on, and
Looked pretty.
and it looked pretty. I was like, all right. And
15 minutes later,
15 minutes later.
they saw this video too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went straight for 24 ounces of a 1% mixture, not watered down, of that bright blue, peacock blue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Put the lid on.
And I that's where
We put the lid. It looked
it all
fine.
went wrong. It looked really cool. It looked so cool.
Put the lid on.
Put the lid on.
Checked it.
Peeked a little bit, and I was like, oh, it looks like cotton candy. And then I closed it again. And then my wife went inside, and that's when panic ensued.
No, because I came out.
You came out after I started panicking.
No.
You were talking to me through the window.
Okay, and I came right out because you lifted the lid about 5 or 10 minutes into the 15, and it was all blue.
It was, I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so this is called Boh Dyes, not Boh Dyes well. So it's all learning, right? It's all learning. I was very sad, Bo, last night. If I'm allowed to speak about myself in third person, I hate when people do that. But sad, Bo, I was
funny.
most definitely. So, like I was yelling frog, frog. But apparently, you can't frog.
Die.
Die.
Okay, so let's say what we did. So there is no footage after this except for you kind of rinsing the yarn.
I
Okay.
even messed that up.
And so let's say what we did.
All right.
We hurried and grabbed all 3 skeins out of the dye bath, put them in the empty pot, dumped the dye bath, put clear water in, more vinegar, and then put the skeins back in.
Yes.
I think there was still so much dye in the skeins.
Oh my god, there was so much dye.
Still.
Yeah.
Even putting them in the clear bath. We
Yeah.
should have probably went straight to rinse. Probably. I think that
Well, we were trying to set it. We were trying to get it.
we could have set it later. I think there was just okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I have deduced. This is what I think happened. You had 6 cups of water. With the brown, you added 4 more cups. The pink, you added 4 more cups. And then when you added the blue, there was so much water in the pan that the dye dispersed itself because it had places to go. Versus if we would have dumped the water after the pink and restarted, and the skeins were all nice and tight, and then you put the dye in from the blue, it would have not dispersed as much and turned the whole skein blue. So that is what I think. I think it was so much water. The dye had tons of places to go because that's what dye does. And then it just went everywhere.
And the fact that I didn't dilute it, the blue, I didn't
Use less of
I
it.
didn't
You could have
use
just
less.
used less.
5 hours later.
Okay, so needless to say, we put the yarn in that clear water. We added the vinegar. We're like, we're going to set it. It's done. And if we want, we'll come back to it and add more if it needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
20 minutes later, we took it out of the water practically.
yep. And then
Brought
we
it in.
started trying to wash it, and that was another panic mode because it kept it kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, but that was because I panicked and took it out before it set. Oh boy.
But we did let it. It was in there like 20 minutes while you were cleaning up. 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
It was in there a while.
Yeah. So
It was
washed
just
it.
so much dye.
We washed it. We soaked it. We washed it. We soaked it. And it was still running blue. Well, yeah. So
it was still bleeding. We
it
got
was
a
still
pot.
bleeding. We got a pot. We put more vinegar in it. We tried to set it again
On the stove.
on the stove
with just water.
with
and
just water.
vinegar.
Yeah. And then we took it out and we washed it again. And we soaked it again. and
Hazel,
why did you leave?
I'll be back. Come on. You know what.
Anybody like finger puppets?
Please? Okay, boom.
Yeah, so, dude, so I guess there's a couple of different ways to look at it. Like, yesterday my wife let me watch the Christy Glass lady video where she interviewed the Thirsty Cat lady, and she said something.
Kelly, I think. Wasn't it Kelly?
I don't know. But, and Miss Christy Glass asked her, she's like, so do you ever mess up? And she's like, oh yeah. And that just gets taken out and becomes a different colorway. And she said it with such confidence. Like, I don't know what I was thinking trying to hang with, like, the big dogs at this stage of the game. But, oh my goodness. So many mistakes. Like, if I could, like, rent a DeLorean and find, like, a big clock during a thunderstorm and then maybe bring in, like, a zany, like, scientist guy to go back to the part where I put the blue in, after knowing, I would have done so many different things. Because, oh my god, I want to do a slow motion montage of how much blue I added. Because
I could probably do that.
oh my god, it was stupid. I used the whole container of peacock blue.
Which is a very deep.
Oh, it's so.
I mean, it's a primary blue on the Dharma's website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did I end up with ugly yarn? Kind of right now, because that was another mistake. I overwashed and panicked trying to get it to stop running blue. So I've handled the yarn way too much.
I got some tangles possibly to untangle. Oh my god. You set them there so you wouldn't have to.
We might have some more tangles back.
Oh god.
So,
oh, babe. Okay.
like,
Here, hand me one of these.
if I were looking for, like, I ended up with a lot of blue, but there's some, oh my god, it looks like Captain America's skid-marked underoos. And if that were something we were going for, like, if I were set out to make a colorway called Captain America's skid-marked underoos, this would be exactly what I was trying to go for. But, I mean, I've got some
Look at this tangle.
stuff going on. Man, man, I told you it was going to be a mess. I tried to hang with the big dogs, man.
And it's not 100% dry yet.
It's not.
So there will be either in the next video a follow-up, and it will be reskeined, so it will look way different because of the reskeining, which I did warn you about, that when it's reskeined, all the colors don't stay together. So
yeah,
I just, want you to be aware of that will happen.
Man, I mean, I don't know.
It's not ugly,
It's not ugly.
but it's not what you were going
It's
for.
not what I was going for, but I don't know how. I mean, Like, I'm trying
looks
to
pretty. Look at
channel
that.
my inner Bob Ross and be like, happy little accidents. But things I learned. There's no frogging and dying. Unless there is, and I just don't know it yet.
I don't think so.
And secondly, don't panic. Panicking in any situation gets you nowhere but where.
Well,
man, I made.
No, we got it out of the dye, which we needed to get it out of the dye. That was very important. I feel like if we didn't get it out, this would have just been so blue. You wouldn't have any white. You wouldn't have any of the brown. So
I mean, if I'm being a contestant on the Great British Bake Off, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's not what I wanted, but I gave it my best. I think I'll go have a cup of tea. Like, I depress ate Reese's Pieces last night at like 9 o'clock at night because I was so sad with. But you know what? These are the kind of mistakes that you make that you 100% learn. Hey,
don't do that again.
don't do that again. So, I present to you Captain America's skid-marked underoos.
Really? That's what you're gonna
That's
call it?
what I'm gonna call it, yes.
And if I make a sweater out of this, I have to call it that?
Yes, most definitely.
Next will be untangling, getting it fully dry.
When you order Captain
Rescaling.
America yarn off of Wish.com. Oh, man. But you know what? I still had fun. I know that by adding more and more dye with this technique,
You need to dilute
it heightens your water levels,
Yeah.
which allows the dye to spread.
Mm-hmm.
I learned I'm not Thirsty Cat that these folks are incredible at what they do. I'm not discouraged. I want to keep trying it, and I actually want to try the idea that was in my head.
Still. Yeah.
I want to pull it off because it was like, man, it was rad. It was like when I first put the blue in. Did you get video of that?
Yeah.
And it looked like cotton candy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it all just went
dude,
to
that
hell.
like I'll never forget that moment when I lifted the top up and I was like, oh no. And like that's when it panic.
Yeah.
And I've got to learn not to panic.
Yeah.
Like what situation does panic ever like fix the situation? Is there a certain anything? No.
All right. Well, I guess this is to be continued.
I mean, it's done.
No, we're gonna show it on the next episode.
I mean, we'll probably put pictures up on the
before
Insta
then.
face.
Well, depending on when you die again.
That's another thing. Remember last time I was like, I'm not built for waiting. Well, like I put up with the grueling work week all week long with a little thing in my head that's like, I'm gonna get to make pretty colors this weekend, and it's gonna make everything better. So you gotta wait a whole entire week to be able to do this, and to completely fail is kind of discouraging. You know what? Maybe I will quit. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe I'll just quit. I mean, quitters never win, but that's the whole point.
You have 8 more colors of dye coming. All right. It's to be continued. Your learning process is to be continued. It's all to be continued.
Man.
Do you want to purchase Captain Underpants
No.
skid mark?
No, come on.
Poopy
No,
pants.
it's not for sale. I'm not selling yarn until I can make something that to look the
That
way
you
I
would
want
wanna
it
sell.
to look.
Yeah, I get it. All right, well, we'll have to finish drying and rescanning. That's where we are. That's where we are, babe. Oh my god.
It's so blue.
So
It's so blue. Like blue October blue. Like, I'm just a normal boy who's into do.
you really don't know when to end a video.
What's that?
Your YouTube video, if you had a channel, you would be like, blah, 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 for 15 more minutes if I didn't stop you.
Okay. There's no frog in dying.